sure how to say your last name. Joe Osteen Jr.
It's Osteen, like the preacher.
Osteen.
Yeah.
Someone said that to me earlier, and I fucking totally forgot. I apologize.
I'm not related to the preacher, but if he's listening, I will totally fight you in the octagon.
Well, he called him out. We'll see how that goes. All right, well, I just really wanted to talk to you about absolutely nothing, to be honest.
That's cool.
I mean, other than like a few things, I was curious on the basic alley I saw on your page. What is this, like a base off that you have?
Yeah, so essentially, friend of mine, John Aming from Dream Eater, and I had this idea, and we did it. We did a prototype test at a show at the Love Goat, where essentially you would have a base off, and the crowd would kind of, cheer for the one they like the most.
Right.
And then that person would win. It'd be like a bracket championship. And basically we would take some of the pot from every show, like say it's probably like, I don't know, like $30, $50, collect that for every show that happens, and the winner of that whole entire base off gets the money. So it would be like a little championship. Also, there'd be like a coin toss to see which band's drummer would end up drumming for them, so they could have an edge on it.
Okay.
Which would also take
I like this a lot.
Yeah, it would take the whole skill from a bass player to really, if they don't have their drummer with them and they end up winning, that's going to be an upset. That's going to be some shit right there.
How well can you connect with the other musician around you? That's part of being a bass player, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And so I think we need to get back on that, because we were thinking about starting it. We have the page for it. We have it ready, and we just need to go with it. But we're having trouble with finding people that would actually commit to it. A lot of people are kind of half-assed.
And some people probably don't like the fact of competition between fellow musicians.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I absolutely love it. I always find it like there's a little bit of competitiveness, right?
It's all fun.
Yes, it's all for fun.
If
I want them to do better than me, so I pushes me to be better as well. Right? So
yeah. If I lost, that's better for me, because I'll learn from it, and I'll come back and I'll fucking get you.
Yeah. And win. You'll go home, study. There'd be like a montage video and everything.
I know. Don't I know it?
I would love to do that with drummers too, but I would greatly love to see this take off, because
no one talks about the bass player.
No one talks about the fucking bass player, and I hate it. Everyone plays guitar. No offense to the producer, Chris, over here. But why is it so hard to find a bass player in this town?
Well,
drummers are just in 10 different bands.
Yeah, so you're going to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
You got to definitely fucking pay someone to get out of all their bands and be specific for you, or you're just going to have to wait for high schoolers to get and graduate. So you can be like, hey, you're good on the drum line. I need you in the studio.
Is it like always the drummer's the oldest person in the band or the youngest person in the band? One of the two. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I've seen that time and time again in multiple bands.
Someone's uncle's definitely good for the part.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen that time and time again. I haven't gotten there yet. Well, I don't have much family, but, that's another story. Get off topic. I do love the bass player. I'm glad. Would you call yourself a bass player or a guitar player that played bass?
Well, I guess it would all start with, in middle school, I started off with percussion. They put me on marimba, so I quit.
Oh, right. Okay.
Then I went to classical guitar, and then I ended up going to Austin High. They don't have that shit. They put me in jazz guitar, and that's not what I wanted. So I quit that too, and then I was like, well, it can't be hard to be a bass player. And then I started, and I looked at videos on YouTube, and I started talking with my friends that are musicians, and I was like, hey, teach me a thing or two. I jumped in a band. Then I was in another band. I had my own thing called the Bassman.
Bassman?
Bassman, okay. Yeah, dude. I just do my own thing. Honestly, what that is I just play bass, and I get a random drummer every single time. I get someone from the crowd, anybody, say the dumbest thing, and I turn it into a song.
Wow, that's amazing, actually.
All improv.
Yeah, I wish I seen more shows like that. It's like, wow.
I had a song called masturbating jellyfish hot dog people, and that's one that I stuck. Another one was Neil deGrasse Tyson, more like Neil deGrasse do some meth for the first time.
Wow, these are long. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some good people in my crowd.
And I can imagine
Very
what those
creative.
songs sounded like, to be honest.
It's good.
I have an idea. Dude, I want to see that project do more. Are you in other bands other than the Deadcoats right now?
Scrotus.
Scrotus.
It's another mock band. It's well, actually, they are on tour in Alaska right now.
Wow.
Yeah, just all of Alaska. Anchorage, probably like 20 times.
They're just, wow.
Mainly Anchorage.
Can't be too many towns in Alaska. Plus, like, I can imagine the turnouts being too good, but
Sarah
I'm
Palin
glad it's
shows up.
working. Oh, that's
She's great,
Alaska,
dude.
really? Oh.
She shows her tits.
I would love to see those, actually. I have definitely a fetish for older women. But,
Sarah Pay tits.
Mm.
That's a bad pun.
Yeah, that's probably bad.
Let's stay off of it.
We'll cut it in like post production. Don't worry.
That's good.
You'll stay off the podcast. But moving to the other things, like so love the Deadcoats, but you guys have like this whole community of bands that are like just friends that interchange between other bands, and there's like how Lauren was explaining, it was like 20, 30 bands. Is this right?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So, I mean, honestly, if you look at it, you know, pre-Deadcoats, there was, and I have a tattoo of it, Violent Crown. It's you know, home tattoo. But Violent Crown used to be this, like, from the ashes kind of underdog record label we, as kids, try to make.
Oh.
And so we had about 13 bands on that. But what that taught me was a sense of community and, like, you know, branch out,
Right.
look at other bands, try to, you know, play with as many people as you can, and just, it's just one big family, you know. I know everyone's out there doing it for the fun, for the love of it.
Yeah.
But it really taught me, like, you know, business is an aspect, but don't drive off of that, you know.
Yeah.
And so when that kind of trickled down, bands started quitting and all that. You know, later on I find the Deadcoats. With that same kind of mentality, it's just like, you know, meet new people. It's a good way to meet new people, to meet the greatest people you've ever met, like such as yourself. I wouldn't have met you if we weren't open to playing any show possible.
Right.
You know, if we were just so stuck in our own scene, then what's the love of music for?
What would you be doing this for?
Exactly.
What's the point?
And so, you know, I think so far with music has taught me more than anything else in life so far, is because I get to meet the greatest people in the world, and it teaches me not to be selfish. You know, like, be humble about yourself. You know?
Yes.
You could take it in many different ways, but just don't be a dick.
That's great. Yeah, that's everyone needs to learn that a little bit or know that a little bit, because we've all played with shows with people that just kind of thought, yeah, they were a little bit better than anyone else around them.
It's not about being the best.
It's really not. It's I love the idea, like you said, community and like building that, because sometimes I feel like it's a little bit lost here in town. But then again, you know, playing in so many different bands and just being a little bit to myself mostly at shows, because I don't know about you, when I play a show, like, I don't really like to hang out or talk to anyone, and after the show I just feel nauseous and like I want to die.
I have bad anxiety. I feel that.
It's like a lot of people, it's getting crowded. I'm like, I just got focused on the music and just. But I want to ask you about that too. Like, so you guys just built your own scene here, or was there already kind of one that you just kind of pulled in and like honed?
Well, we had a lot of really good friends that were also in bands.
Right.
And, you know, we started out playing with them. Turns out they got good friends. And the more people you meet, the more people you start playing shows with. And kind of like I was saying before, it's like, you know, all of a sudden we're playing, you know, with Last Judgment. And from Last Judgment, we end up meeting people like Day Eater. And then so we're playing with Day Eater. And, you know, from there we're playing with the Bolies. We're playing with Naga Brujo. We're playing with all these wonderful bands, and so it just ends up that like every other show we play, we're new bands that were either inviting us or we invited them, because we never wanted to keep it the same. we wanted to keep the sense of community, but we also wanted to explore everybody, because there's probably more than, if not up to, more than 2,000 bands here in Austin alone.
Right.
If not, Austin, San Marcos, San Antonio area, 5,000 bands.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of really good talent out there. And the fact that I get to play with all of the bands in the world, which would be one bucket list item, hell, I don't care. I honestly want to have a show where it's a DJ, a ska band, a punk band, old style rock and roll, new style rock and roll, metal, fucking,
just
every
show.
variety of metal, all varieties of music. Get them up there. As long as you're not a Republican, a rapist, or a racist,
then you're good.
You're good.
Yeah.
Come to my show.
Thanks. Yeah. Let's play shows together. Let's all of us. I do love that idea of like, kind of, that's so weird you said like Last Judgment onto Date, or in which two very different bands and very different from
good.
y'all as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're just homed into their style, like I love thrash. I remember listening to Last Judgment. I was like, this is awesome. I wish I was in a thrash band. I wish I was in a thrash band. And Date are like, wow, it's just so musically well together when they play, right? It just always sounds so perfect.
Yeah, they're very wow. They've got their crafting to a T. I mean, they must spend at least 3 times a week in like a rehearsal room.
You would think. I talked to them a little bit. I hope I'm not sharing too much information, but they just play so many shows. This is how they just keep playing so many shows.
It's got that for us too.
Yeah.
I mean, like we play so many shows that we just kind of give it a break, but we still try to get 1 day a week.
Right.
1 day a week and we'll be fine. We got one show on Sunday, which will be Lauren's graduation show, and that's going to be our practice. We missed practice on Tuesday. We tried recording a single for free. Everything was all right with it, But we got to experience a really cool school out in the hills, Westlake Hills, I think, or something. I don't know. It's past Westlake. But it had this really crazy overlook. It's just being in nature and then playing music at the same time was pretty incredible. And I forget the name of the school.
That must be pretty cool, actually. Being out there in nature with your instruments. I always think of like a black metal music video or music shoot. They're always out in the woods.
Yeah.
They love the woods.
They're just like in the woods or like in a bog or something.
Yeah, always.
Like the ones where the drumsticks move the fog around and shit.
Create a swirl. That's actually pretty cool. I want to try to do that at my next show. You're giving me ideas. So you guys always try to practice at least once a week, right?
At least every Tuesday.
Yeah.
If something comes about that we just don't do it, then we try to refigure, but we're sharing a music room with Mike Caldwell. He's in a good couple bands, and so it's Killing Ritual, Arcane Moon, Flesh Hoarder, and us. I'm trying to think.
It's already still quite a few bands to begin with.
One more band, and I forgot.
So 5 bands in that
5
practice?
bands is in
Wow.
there, yeah. But, no, it's crazy, and it's really cool. Again, brings the community. We all have our stuff in there. We share our equipment.
You know
Everything's
each other.
cool.
Wow, you get to share each other's equipment.
Get a lockout room.
Yeah.
Get to just practice pretty much whatever we want. We all keep in contact with each other, like, hey, I'm going to be there.
Oh, like just try to keep like a text chain, be like, hey, we want to practice this day. It's always the worst when it comes to scheduling shit like that.
It's cross booking and stuff.
I've been in a lockout fucking room, and just guy comes in, he's like, oh, I thought it was free today. It's like, check the Google calendars, get the fuck out of here.
Well, we have thankfully the messenger chats and shit. We have a group chat, so.
Yeah, man, trying to streamline the conversations with people is a headache because no one likes the group chat, No one likes a group, like fucking 25 people on it.
Oh, yeah.
So you try the Slack, there's Messenger, there's Kink, you can hit me up on OkCupid, and that's probably the best way you can get a hold of me. Because I can't check my emails, there's too many of them, and I'm going to throw my phone one day. Today, probably.
I used to throw my phone.
Ding, yeah. It could be a bit nauseating at times, especially starting the production company. I was like, this will be fun. this is a lot of work now.
Yeah.
This is turning into a lot of work. But I love there is so much work, and man, it fucking stresses me out. But once it gets done, once I like accomplish it, that feeling is priceless. Like
At the end of the day, you're like,
my
I
God,
fucking
I
did
fucking
that.
did it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
No, it's good.
It's fucking genius.
That's amazing.
And I love the struggle getting there, you know? Like, so I was reading like the title of your intro. It's like so fucking long. Bassist, slapping the bass expert. Wow, okay. Funnest moments, random idea thinker, song idea engineer, equipment specialist, expensive equipment handler. It's quite a long title to say a few things, but I was curious about the song idea engine. So like, do you write a lot of songs?
Pretty much.
Being a bass player, it could be yes or no. No. Pretty much.
Well, so the way I structure songs is, you know, you get a phrase of the riff and you count it a couple times, you know. I'm not going to go into it. I don't want to tell
You don't
anyone
wanna take
my
away the
recipe.
magic. Yeah,
but,
don't. Please, don't. Leave a little bit of mystique.
So, I mean, Josh and I really have just a stockpile of riffs. And a lot of times he'll come up with a riff that I'm like, why don't mine work with that? So we go on top of it. But sometimes we'll be in the jam room and I'll be playing a riff that I just made. People add on to it. Or if I'm like, this is a song I specifically need to play on guitar, so we need to do a switcheroo.
Yeah.
Got a couple switcheroos.
I like the switcheroos.
But yeah, I mean, I'm always thinking of riffs. I'm always thinking of lyrics. I'm always thinking of everything in the world. And haven't gone to the doctor for ADHD, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know.
Sure.
I'm always thinking.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Adderall helps, you know, drugs. But yeah.
maybe I need to do
some people,
drugs
yeah.
so I could finally go to college.
Right. Yeah. That'd be good.
Drug-funded college. Well, so, I mean, it's just a lot of Josh and I bouncing back and forth. Ian is always he's got his perspective on, like, what he sees fit. And, like, you know, he is always there to actually make it easier for us to understand, okay, this is how it's going to go, chart
Right.
it out. And it's just a big group effort. You know, Lauren's there with the lyrics, and she's helping to create the song. And I think when it comes to creating the song, it isn't just one person, but I do come up with a lot of riffs. Josh does as well. I mean, we just all come together and we make it.
That's just like the start of it. And like you were saying, like Ian, right, the drummer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Drummers are always great with that. Like, this is how the structure can kind of flow a little bit better. Because you just got to think about it like
He
in
bridges
beats,
the gap.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how do we get to here, to there kind of thing?
Exactly.
I totally understand that. Right, because it's the Dead Coats, and it's a band, not like, you know, Joe.
It's not
Schmo.
Joe and the Dead Coats.
Yeah, exactly. So I love the idea of like working together, and I think that's what really builds like really good songs.
Yeah.
I know, like, probably in the beginning, when you guys got together, someone already had a bunch of songs already written, and they were like, now you need to learn this song, how we've been doing it for the past 6 months. I've been playing it like this for a year, and it's like, it's kind of hard to work in that. But once you get past that point and start building, like, the new album, per se,
Yeah.
it gets a lot better, don't you think?
That album's going to be awesome,
Yeah.
by the way. It was recorded by Jason Richards and from Clockride Studios. He's a boss. Hit up Clockride Studios. That's my only plug.
I've listened to it this morning. I was showering, you know, just
You
doing
found
my
it?
research. I found it.
Oh, shh.
Yeah. Oh, see, that's what I was gonna ask you too. It's like,
That's a
what's
secret.
that? Okay.
If you find it, you find it. But otherwise,
Well, I had the opportunity, the golden chance. Thank you for letting me do it. Thank you for letting me listen to it.
yeah, we put it out for
It
the
was great.
secret people.
Yeah, it was. I like the production work. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That sounded great. Like a lot of bass heavy too, which is what I really love from like good punk is like that driving bass and just those little cadence of guitar, you know,
Very
the little
crunchy.
accents.
Yeah.
And then great drum beat. Fucking your drummer always. It always seems like nothing phases him when I saw him. I was like, "You're playing double duty tonight." And he's just like smoking a cigarette.
He's like,
standing.
yeah.
I'm like, Is he okay?
No, he's
Is this
good.
him?
This is how he does, man.
Yeah.
He's honestly, when it comes down to it, he's Superman, and he hates being Superman.
Oh my God.
But he loves it all at the same time. I mean,
Right.
if anybody loves music more, that's him, dude. Like,
That's probably the guy.
he wants to be in any and every project, but realizes that any and every project takes time.
Right.
But he wants to give like literally every minute of his life to make sure that shit like that happens. Because
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's all he wants to do. And same here. Same as you too.
Same me.
Yeah.
Like, I just stretched yourself so thin with all these bands. I want to join your project. I want to join your project. I was like, just want to come see your band, and then that's taking a day off work. And I don't know how to, like, it's the best step. Like, you guys play shows all the time. I see
Right.
fucking Date all the time.
All the time, yeah.
What do you do for work? What do you do for work?
I work at Osteen's Pizza, so I just basically rack up all the money from that and pay my bills, pay my rent, pay for the jam room. I guess that'd be in bills.
Yeah.
Pay for food, pay for my cat. After that, I have about $300 left for the whole month. So, yeah, I'm pretty
hard, yeah.
strapped, but
Yeah.
that's the life of being a musician. If you're playing all the time. Also, another good important thing, if you are a musician, normally shows go on late. Get a 9 to 5. It'll help you in the long run.
I wish I had that. I just love nights too much, and the service industry is too goddamn good.
It is great. It's
Yeah.
good. But, I mean, I'd prefer to wake up early as shit, get my job done, so I get paid, and then at the same time I go to the show.
And you're not missing anything.
It's a double, but it's worth it.
Yeah. Tiring, exhausting. Yeah, I think that was like pretty much all we had time for. Obviously, I want to do this again with Lauren and you and the whole band, and so much more to talk about, obviously.
Oh, definitely.
Scratch the surface a little bit. But thanks for coming out. And yes, man, please, if you want another drink, it's on me. I get half off of this place.
That sounds good.
And thank you, Stay Gold.
Yes,
They don't
thank
know.
you.
They don't know what they were doing. They didn't know we were doing this. But thank you, Stay Gold.
We did it
Go.
regardless.